Brazil and Rwanda continue to enjoy strong and growing diplomatic relations in cooperation and also in people-to-people exchanges. Today we have the honor to be speaking with Her Excellency Irene Vidagala, the Ambassador of Brazil to Rwanda. Welcome very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much. We are going to be discussing and also stating about the cooperation and the relation between the two countries, the shared values, and also the state of cooperation. To start with, Your Excellency Ambassador, could you please tell us the current state and cooperation of the two countries and also the key aspects and the key sectors that in which it's really standing out too?
Sure. We must remember that formal relations between Brazil and Rwanda were established not too long ago in the 80s, and the two governments decided to establish their diplomatic representations in each other's capital just 2 years ago. So it's, I would say that what really brings us to this discussion is how new the relations are. We are building from nothing. I mean, we are starting completely afresh. So, and this is interesting for me because, for instance, the Rwandan government opened the embassy in Brasilia before we opened here. So it was in 2024. We opened the embassy here in 2025. So when I came, as a matter of fact, Ambassador Lawrence Manzi, the ambassador of Rwanda and Brazil, had already started with a number of areas that for Rwanda, I believe, are quite important. So I think that what marks our relations is the new conditions that everything is to be built. We can dream of many areas. We can think of many different aspects. But of course, I think when it comes to two countries that are in different continents, quite different sizes, we can think that the discussion can be very wide. We can go from education to cooperation. For instance, in the area of aviation, we can think of culture, many things.
Your Excellency Ambassador, what opportunities do you find in strengthening the ties between Rwanda and Brazil, particularly in areas such as trade, culture, education, as you recently highlighted?
Since we are picking up the things that we consider more important, my main concern is to listen to what the government of Rwanda and the people of Rwanda are saying, because we wanted to hear from you what are the aspects that you wanted to highlight in this relation between our two countries. From my side, from the side of Brazil, we have some ideas that are important for us. I think for a country like Brazil, and particularly at this stage, we consider Rwanda an important partner in the area of multilateralism. Rwanda has a strong position in some subjects, and I think that Rwanda is an example in terms of what an African country can build. And for us, this is very good. If we come to Rwanda with our agents, economic agents, cultural agents, and if they are here and they see what you have been doing over the last 30 years, that's going to be very positive in terms of what we can do together. So I think that example from the part of Rwanda is something that we expect. We see that government is quite dedicated to organizing a very consistent agenda. That's good because we have to be proactive and work with the specific objectives. So I think that I love the idea of culture. I like sports. Education is something that is my cup of tea, let's say. But we have all the area of agriculture, investment in all the agribusiness sector. But of course, I've been here for about 6 months, a little bit more than that. I feel that Rwanda could receive something from Brazil that you don't have here. We don't buy Brazilian products here. And I think that we should have in the market some products from Brazil. because that's very much us. We are a little bit like this. For instance, all over the world, people have a Brazilian sandal that's called Havaianas. And you can't find Havaianas here, so it's funny. But we have some kind of drinks that we don't find. And I think that other countries are here. So Brazil needs now to compete with these other countries that are here. And I think we have the capacity to be a strong partner here, also in the area of trade.
Yes. Speaking of how you would like to cooperate with Rwanda and also things that you'd like to bring to Rwanda from Brazil, you've been recently highlighting the cooperation that can be happening between Rwanda and between Visit Rwanda and Brazil. How would you like to explain it even more, and how do you normally find Visit Rwanda?
When we look at Brazil in Rwanda and Rwanda in Brazil, something that we recognize is that people don't know about our countries. People in Brazil know about the genocide, but that's a little bit all. As a matter of fact, people know in Brazil that, people of a certain level, people in politics, the presence of women in politics. That's something that people know, that Rwanda is championing this with very positive results. But here people don't know almost anything about Brazil. For instance, I find it interesting that people don't know what is the importance of the black population in Brazil. More than 50% of the Brazilian population is of African origin. And this has a very strong impact in our culture, in everything that we do. So I think that when we don't know each other, it's difficult to dialogue. The Visit Rwanda is going to take Rwanda to Brazil. And then you have 214 million people who will be looking at Rwanda and say, well, what is this? What is this symbol? Why are they here now? And so it's the easiest way for one big population that's the size of Brazil, even the ones who don't know, who are not, let's say, who are not fun, who are not soccer supporters, they will understand that there is something new, that's this Visit Rwanda. So I think the Visit Rwanda is the best way for Rwanda to be known in Brazil. And the impact will be in business, but of course in tourism. I have been talking in the Brazilian press, in podcasts, about Rwanda. And it's amazing because today, the day that we are speaking, I received a message from a professor of one university saying, I heard your interview in one radio that I spoke, and he said, I wanted to visit Rwanda now. So you see, people, when they start listening, they are ready to come. And that's what's going to build our relations, this people-to-people relation.
And how important are cultural exchanges and people-to-people connections in strengthening this friendship between our two nations? As you've been saying, that 50% of Brazilians today are black, and they also come from Africa.
When I talk about bringing Brazilian culture here, it's about bringing Brazil here, because we are our culture. Last year, there was a very interesting research made with DNA. And this scientific magazine came out with the results of this survey, of this research. Brazil is the country all over the world with the biggest mixture that is shown of races that is shown in DNA. So Brazil is a country that's a melting pot, where you have Europeans, Asian people, people of Black African, and that is all seen in our culture, because we have a very strong pillar of our culture that is from African origin, but we also have, for instance, all the biggest beer festival in the world after Germany. It's in the south of Brazil, where you have a huge beer festival. So when we bring culture, we bring the history of Brazil, we bring everything that we are doing associated with culture. So I believe that introducing people from Rwanda to our literature, today, there was the Gold, Cinema Awards in the United States, the Golden Globe, And Brazil won as the best international film and the best actor in drama. So we have names that are strong in the international scene, and I believe that Rwandans will be interested in recognizing that, because if we are reaching other places in the world, why not to also share with Rwanda this experience? Also in this area, for instance, in our literature, I'm talking to publishers here in Rwanda, because the experience our writers have with reflecting our reality into fiction in a way that is compromising between fiction, creation, but also what is real, what comes from the reality of the life. So this group that's talking to me, they are quite interested in maybe bringing some Brazilian writers to express this, because we have writers who come from different levels of the society, financial levels. We have lots of women who are also writing, reflecting all the conditions, poor population, people who are under lots of stress. So I think we can share. Brazil has many challenges. I think Rwanda has its own challenges, but why not we work for somehow shared experience and see if we can share some solutions in public policies. You see, when you recognize that the challenges are quite similar, your way, you really reduce, you kind of canalize your strength to building bridges, to putting things together, if you know each other.
Speaking on sharing the culture and also interesting. And what does Rwanda represent to Brazil as a strategic partner in Africa?
I mentioned to you that the example of Rwanda, I think, something quite important. I think due to the fact that Africa is such a big continent with so many countries, more than 50 countries, you have to say, or we have to say in Brazil, look, Africa is not all the same. And when it comes to the good results achieved by Rwanda, for instance, the level of doing business, you are number one, fighting against poverty, organization, cleanness, all this, I think when these very few months that I've been here, when Brazilian people come here, they are so well impressed. So I think number one for me is the example of what can be done. But I think that the resilience of the people, again, it's an example, but it's specifically with the resilience. After the genocide against the Tutsi, what this country, this leadership, these people managed to do in 30 years. That's absolutely amazing. Okay.
How can young people benefit, in both countries, of course, benefit from the Brazil-Rwanda cooperation?
In terms of what is my agenda here, the agenda of Brazil, I have been highlighting, for instance, the impact of tourism, but I've also put a lot of strength in this dialogue of educational cooperation. I think that if we can give the opportunity for students from here to go to our universities, undergraduation, post-graduation, we are creating strong links for the future. Of course, when you have the first students going there will be an interest for Brazilians maybe to come here and to study here, to see what you are doing. But I think my main point is, we are countries that are in the global south. And what Brazil has in terms of special features of its development, I believe it's different, for instance, from what a Rwandese student that's going to Europe or to the United States. Because we have to teach our students at university what are the challenges of a people that's fighting poverty, that is fighting for democracy, that's fighting for reducing the level of reducing the differences in the community. We have people who are very rich, the people who are very poor, and we have to decrease. So social policies in Brazil that we have been developing. I think that for Rwandan students that go to Brazil, either in the area of social policies, economy, but of course in the area of engineering and so. But the idea of the social policies, I think it's interesting because countries of the South speak a very specific language. And that's the language that I think we can share. The way we see the world, the perspective, we look at how reality is being built, how development has been constructed. It's not all the same. And we are, let's say, in very similar positions, so we can work together.
Interesting. Are there ongoing or upcoming events or activities that you're excited about?
Sure. We are going to have, in the very beginning of February, the very first trade mission from Brazil to Rwanda. So we are going to have about more than 50 companies that are coming here. It will be the very first time that business people, women and men from the two countries are going to get together. There will also, on the same occasion, there will be some representatives of important agencies in Brazil, like Embrapa, that's our agents for the promotion of research and development in agriculture. They are going to be here. And so I believe that this is going to be a major event. We have some other things that we are discussing. Brazil, for the first time in October next year, it's going to be there is a Greek show here, and we are going to be part for the first time. Well, I think almost all items in our agenda, I see them as quite exciting. For instance, we are going to have a kind of a demonstration of Brazilian food and beverages, but we are going to have a technical course. Today I met the Minister of Agriculture and I said we are ready to organize, for instance, a technical cooperation course for dairy production. You have milk here, and you already have some production of dairy items, but we have a large experience and we are ready to share. But in the area of beef, I would tell you a number of things that I consider to be very interesting. Let's hope that people in Rwanda will also consider it good initiatives.
Yes. Lastly, Your Excellency, I would like to ask you to give us a message to the Rwandans about Brazil, of course.
My message would be, let's work together and know more about each other. I have been working in many African countries, and this is the first time that I open an embassy. And it's quite a challenge. I have 41 years of foreign service, so I'm 64 years old, and I see how new is this idea that you run in Rwanda. You have so many other countries that are already here. Why to bring Brazil into this group? So for me, the challenge is, look, we are here with the idea of working with you because you caught our attention for the good things you did. So my message is, take us in good spirit. Whatever we are here to do, it's with the intention of reducing the differences and making the world a place of more understanding. But I think we are in such a difficult time internationally that we have to understand that we are here for peace. President Lula, he's in his third mandate, President Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva. He's very strong in saying Brazil is a country of peace. We are big, we have a big population, we have a big GDP, we have a big territory, but we don't have a nuclear power. We don't have a nuclear bomb. We don't have huge armies and armed forces, but we have a strong diplomacy. We want to work in peace with our partners, and that's something, that's the message. Let's build peace, and it's difficult now in the world, but we are struggling for that, and we'll continue.
Your Excellency, thank you so much for your time. Otherwise, do you have anything that you'd like to add on?
My message would be, let's work together and know more about each other. I have been working in many African countries, and this is the first time that I open an embassy. And it's quite a challenge. I have 41 years of foreign service, so I'm 64 years old, and I see how new is this idea that you run in Rwanda. You have so many other countries that are already here. Why to bring Brazil into this group? So for me, the challenge is, look, we are here with the idea of working with you because you caught our attention for the good things you did. So my message is, take us in good spirit. Whatever we are here to do, it's with the intention of reducing the differences and making the world a place of more understanding. But I think we are in such a difficult time internationally that we have to understand that we are here for peace. President Lula, he's in his third mandate, President Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva. He's very strong in saying Brazil is a country of peace. We are big, we have a big population, we have a big GDP, we have a big territory, but we don't have a nuclear power. We don't have a nuclear bomb. We don't have huge armies and armed forces, but we have a strong diplomacy. We want to work in peace with our partners, and that's something, that's the message. Let's build peace, and it's difficult now in the world, but we are struggling for that, and we'll continue.
Yes, Your Excellency, thank you so much for sharing these valuable insights and also to have the courage to deepening the ties between Rwanda and Brazil. Thank you so much.